We are now broadcasting on YouTube.
Okay, so we're ready to go?
Nathan, are we ready to go?
Yep, okay.
We are now ready to go, yes.
Okay, welcome to the March meeting of the Audit, Budget, and Finance Committee of the Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority. I will first call the roll of the committee members present. I'm present. Jeanette?
This Jeanette is present.
Right. And we're waiting on Fred. As we have a quorum, we may begin with the first order of business, which is the approval of the minutes from the September 23rd, 2020 meeting. Copy of the minutes and the accompanying draft resolution are located in the board book under tab 1. Is there a motion to amend, delete, or approve the minutes?
Approve as moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Our next action is to review the BFSA's preliminary 2021-2022 budget and related four-year financial plan, and to authorize its posting for public comment. We're not approving the budget at this time, but rather we are approving the document to be posted for public review and comment. This document will be posted on the BFSA website and provided to all city public libraries for public posting. Any public comments received on the budget will be forwarded to this committee. The preliminary budget is provided under tab 1 of your board book, along with the accompanying resolution. Jeanette has some comments.
Thank you. I just have a couple high-level comments. The budget always is developed with controlling expenses as the principal objective, but even more careful thought was put into it considering the pandemic and the unknown impact that continues from that. The second objective is to provide the city with a stable level for budgeting purposes. We've achieved that with the development of this budget. Our 2022 budget proposes a 0.9% year-to-year increase in total, which is equal to $9,134. Projected increases over the four-year financial plan range between 1.8 to 1.9% annually. I want to thank the Comptroller, Claire Waldron, for her hard work on creating the very thorough budget document that you have with you, and for the input of the Manager of Technology, Nathan Miller, in the development of the capital plan, which largely is technology related. So we really needed his input and appreciate that. And with just these very brief opening comments, I will now take any questions that either of you have on the budget.
Jeanette, you have any questions for Jeanette?
Yes, I do. Jeanette, if one of our entities, any one of them, if we were convinced that a professionally prepared long-range study of this or that be prepared in order to ensure the reasonableness of the four-year forecast, have we ever required such a thing? And if yes or no, no matter, this question, where would we repay for something like that from our budget? Or would we just assume that BMHA would pay for an outside study to ensure reasonableness of forecast?
Sure. To answer your first question, we have brought in expertise externally when needed. I'm thinking specifically when other post-employment benefits was kind of a new accounting pronouncement, and that was a newer concern of the Buffalo Fiscal Stability Authority. We brought in some experts to specifically talk about that and look at it in ways that, internally we certainly didn't have the expertise for. And that would come, that's just an example. We have a line item under professional fees for other professional fees, and that's where there are funds set aside for such, external expertise to come to the BFSA as needed.
Okay. Other professional fees, and I see the line amount. Okay, so an amount is budgeted. This is where we would park an expense like that, and good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, this preliminary budget is prepared by BFSA staff, commences the public comment period. If any committee member or attending director has any comments now, in addition to Jeanette's question. Any other comments? Okay, if there are any additional comments over the next few weeks, they should be sent to Jeanette, who will circulate updated versions of the budget as they become necessary. This same request will be made to the full board later today. Approval of the budget itself will be required at the June board meeting prior to the beginning of the next fiscal year. Are there any questions? Okay, may I have a motion, please, to authorize staff to post the preliminary 2021-22 budget and related four-year financial plan on the BFSA website?
As moved.
I'll second. And that also includes posting in the city libraries. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that passes. The next item of business is to approve Lumsden and McCormick as auditors for BFSA for the current fiscal year ending June 30th, 2021. Lumsden and McCormick have provided excellent service over the last several years and have proposed a minor increase of $300 to the audit fee. Lumsden and McCormick were originally contracted pursuant to a request for proposals, and this action will extend the contract for an additional year. Copy of the engagement letter and accompanying draft resolution has been provided under tab 1 of the board book. May I please have a motion to approve the engagement of the accounting firm Lumsden and McCormick LLP to perform as the BFSA annual audit for the year ending June 30th, 2021.
As moved.
I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, aye? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Opposed? All right. The next item of business is the annual reporting for 2021 to this committee from the Internal Controls Officer regarding testing and related findings. The Internal Control Officer is a statutorily required appointment. Internal control memos are included under tab 1 of the board book. The Internal Control Officer, Bryce Link, will share his report with us. Bryce.
Yes, good afternoon. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to address the Audit, Finance, and Budget Committee this afternoon. As Chair Nils noted, both testing memos are included under tab 1. The two areas that were reviewed were investment initialization and monitoring, as well as the revenue recognition, recording, and transfer process. With BFSA being an agency of 5 staff, there's quite a bit of oversight occurring on all transactions. Segregation of duties was reviewed and demonstrated the controls are in place in regards to BFSA operations are functioning. During the course of my review, there were no material findings. Additional focus was looking at areas where potential fraud could occur. The first report you'd have in the board book focuses on the investment initialization and monitoring. The primary purpose of the review and testing of the investment initialization and monitoring was to determine that proper documentation, reporting, and investment policies for investments held by the BFSA were established and followed. Investments were reviewed, including debt service set-asides, as well as the forward delivery agreements. At this time, the portion of the Erie County sales tax due to the city is used as a resource to cover the set-asides. Per the intercept provision of the BFSA Act, the BFSA receives all sales tax and forwards on the appropriate apportionments to the covered entities. Multiple records were reviewed during this testing process, including state AIM transmittal letters to the City of Buffalo, letters to the Bank of New York for short-time investments, the sales tax distribution to covered entities, the 2019-20 investment log, monthly BFSA revenue summary that's transmitted to the covered entities, and the interest transferred to the City of Buffalo. A detailed review of the aforementioned records was completed, and there were no material weaknesses found. It is noted the BFSA, in an effort to promote transparency and good governance, posts the following operational documents online, including the BFSA investment guidelines, annual investment reports, BFSA debt schedule, and the BFSA code of ethics. The second area that I tested was the revenue recognition, recording, and transfers. The second area, this review focused on the multiple revenue streams, amounts, and timing of transactions, including debt service set-asides, timely reporting, and recording of transaction, as well as review any areas that could be vulnerable to fraud. The testing included the detailed review of all 3 New York State aid and incentives to municipalities, also known as AIM transactions, as well as multiple sales tax transactions. The mirror bond principal and interest payments, as well as a high-level analysis of the investment earnings that occurred during the fiscal year for any anomalies. No such anomalies were identified. It was determined that the BFSA has established a uniform and static process for recognizing and recording revenue. Transactions of the city, district, trustee accounts, and to the BFSA are only made with proper authorization, and job duties are adequately segregated. Significant amount of their transactions are made to the trustee, who currently is Bank of New York Mellon. In addition, it is noted that the BFSA, in an effort to maintain promoting transparency and good governance, posts the following operational documents online: the BFSA Code of Ethics, BFSA Investment Guidelines, BFSA Debt, and the BFSA Debt Schedule, that is, and the BFSA Mission Statement. Those are the 2 areas I tested. As I previously mentioned, there were no anomalies or material weaknesses identified. At this time, are there any questions from the committee?
Okay, hearing none. Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you.
Is there any other business to be considered by the committee? Okay, hearing none, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn. Jeanette?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Did you make a motion to adjourn, please?
Sorry, I was having trouble with my telephone.
That's okay.
Yes, as moved.
Okay, I'll second that by acclamation. Okay, so we're adjourning the committee meeting and waiting on our